Good evening and welcome to Aging Together's 9th annual 5 over 50 celebration. Thank you so much for joining us. My name is Lisa Peacock and I'm the Executive Director of Culpeper Human Services, and I'm also the Chair of the Board of Directors for Aging Together. Aging Together connects people to communities and resources to improve the quality of life as we age. I want to take a moment to just thank Johnny and Nicole at Culpeper Media Network for everything that they have done to help us put this together. This event is always scheduled to coincide with Older Americans Month, but due to the pandemic for the past 2 years, we've been 100% virtual. But we're really excited tonight to have 5 live watch parties happening across the 5 counties that we serve. Older Americans Month celebrates the contributions older adults make to their communities. This year, the theme of Older Americans Month is Age My Way. How each individual ages is unique to them. It's not a one-size-fits-all. Tonight, we celebrate 6 individuals because we do have a couple from each of the 5 counties that we serve of Culpeper, Fauquier, Orange, Madison, and Rappahannock counties. These folks have made a real difference in their communities, and they exemplify aging their way by their unique contributions and all that they have given of themselves to make the world a better place. I will now turn the program over to Ellen Phipps, who is our Executive Director for Aging Together, and to Valerie Ward, who's also a board member, and she is the Director of the Department of Social Services for Madison County. Again, thank you so much for joining us.
Good evening. Welcome. My name is Ellen Phipps. Thank you, Lisa. We are so excited about this event tonight, the 5 over 50. We just couldn't be more thrilled. We are grateful to all of our sponsors. We're grateful to all of our watch party hosts. And we are here live in the studio. So this is live, which means, you know, anything could happen, right? So here we go. You know, I think one of the things that we learned, if anything, through this pandemic that hopefully we're coming out of at this point is flexibility and patience. And I think, you know, this event really highlights that. You know, historically, we were a banquet, and then the pandemic happened, and we went to a complete virtual event, which actually turned out better than the banquets. We were thrilled with the way that worked. And this year, we're trying something new again, and I'm really excited about it. And that's the fact that we've got 5 watch parties, 1 watch party in each of our 5 counties with the honoree, celebrating with the honoree. And, you know, what a nice way to really have this event and, you know, what a nice be meaningful to each of the counties, because what a great way everyone in the counties can celebrate their honoree. So we're just so excited about that. Again, we are just grateful to our sponsors. We're so grateful to Culpeper Media, to Lisa, to Valerie Ward. I'm going to introduce Valerie. She's here with me in the studio. Valerie is the director of the Madison County DSS, Department of Social Services, and she's a board member for Aging Together. And I'm going to turn it over to her right now.
Thanks, Ellen. We just can't say enough about how much we appreciate the sponsors that make an event like this possible. To not only be here in the studio at Culpeper Media Network, but just that we can be celebrating with each and every honoree in the circle of their family and friends and their community. So again, we want to recognize our sponsors. Again, Culpeper Media Network is our host home here, and we really appreciate their time and efforts producing this show. We also want to recognize UVA Health, They're also a presenting sponsor for this event. A 4-star sponsor we have for this evening is Rappahannock Rapidan Community Services. They actually are a watch party sponsor for the Culpeper Watch Party. So again, we know you guys are having a good time over there just a few streets over. Our 3-star level sponsor is Culpeper Star Exponent. Our 2-star sponsors are AARP Virginia, Culpeper Human Services, Skyline Community Action Partnership. We appreciate just kind of the support of all of our partners to make this event possible. Our 1-star sponsors are the George Washington Carver Regional High School Alumni Association, the Lake of the Woods Lions Club Foundation, the Madison United Methodist Charge in honor of Kevin McGee. We also want to recognize Rap at Home in honor of Joyce and Mike Winger. Those are our sponsors that we just didn't want to even begin the event without making sure our appreciation is noted to them.
Thank you, Valerie. That's really so critical to say thank you on behalf of all of us to our sponsors. You know, the people that we're celebrating tonight, they are really selfless human beings. They're all very humble. They don't look for recognition. They don't want it. They shy away from it. But we want to recognize them because these are older adults who have made significant contributions to their communities. Really, they are working hard to make our world a better place. And these are people that we can all look up to and try to emulate. It's amazing how their years of experience have often, helped to get them to this point. But they are unique and powerful because of those years. And I think it really highlights and kind of gets away from some of those images that we might have about older people and what they are and what they do. We know that older adults are great contributors. There's a lot of wisdom that goes along with the years, and we really look up to them. Absolutely. And can model them. So don't take my word for it, though, because we are going to now move on with our program and our award recipients. And the program is going to begin with the honoree from Culpeper, Charles Jameson. And here to introduce him is former Aging Together Executive Director, Carol Simpson, and dear friend of mine. And so take it away, Carol.
Hello everyone, my name is Carol Simpson. I have known Charles Jameson for the past several years through his work with the Sons of the American Revolution, Culpeper Minutemen chapter. I'm his counterpart at the Daughters of the American Revolution, chapter of the same name. In SAR, Charles is immediate past president, past treasurer, and currently he's the historian. Through SAR, he has organized many events commemorating historical events and celebrating national holidays, such as Independence Day, Flag Day, and Veterans Day. Charles has been a guest speaker at local schools to discuss the Constitution, Revolutionary War history, and other educational topics. Charles is an alumnus of Carver School, where we are this morning. He's currently on the school's Alumni Association's History Committee. He's served as the association's president. He is a board member of the Culpeper County Museum and is active in the Democratic Party and NAACP. Charles was drafted into the military 2 weeks before he was to graduate from VCU. He fought in Vietnam and was awarded a Purple Heart and 2 Bronze Stars. He says he is prouder of his brown stars than he is the Purple Heart. Now that must be a story. The fact that he didn't walk at VCU still bothers him, as he was the first in his family to go to college and the first to finish. Although he had a degree and a license to teach physical education, he rose to construction superintendent at his longtime job. Charles has a strong sense of personal ancestry and has made it his mission to research and teach regarding African Americans' participation in wars, such as the American Revolution and the Civil War. The Jameson family has lived in Culpeper County since the 1700s and in Virginia as far back as the 1500s. Charles is a loving husband, father, and grandfather who loves our Culpeper County community. I am so pleased to introduce Aging Together's 5 over 50 Culpeper County honoree, Charles Jameson.
Oh, I really would like to thank Carol so much. This was such an honor and a big surprise. But I honestly, I feel good about what we're all doing, what the DAR is doing, what the SAR is doing, and what all history, that all history should be told, and to be proud of what we have and honor what is honorable. I am just overwhelmed, I really am, and thankful, but I do, believe me, I do feel good about what history I've been able to help and what I've been able to bring out and being associated with the groups that have done all of this. Well, Culpeper has so much history. And it's kind of hard for me, being as old as I am, to say about how much change I've seen. Because believe me, went to school here, I've seen a lot. But I'm very proud of Culpeper's history, and I'm proud of it being recognized, and all of its citizens do other stuff like that, and I have a lot of history in Culpeper to be proud of, both sides, African American and European. So, and we've seen a lot of changes, and just like here at Carver High School. But I will say that I am very proud of my education here at Carver. I felt like I could compete with others who went to other schools when I went to VCU, when I went in the service, and I was, like I said, I was a Spec 4, but I was section chief of a 12-hour shift manning the artillery, giving them the data, figuring up the data and giving them that. And that's one of my, I think back, I said, how did I manage that? I didn't think I was that smart, but I did. And after I got out of the, retired, I felt bored. I was really bored. I was used to getting up at 4:30 in the morning, getting back about 7, and it really did not allow me much community service then. I wanted to get involved in things, and my wife would say, well, you're too busy, and I admitted I was. But when I retired, I just felt like I needed to get involved, and I got more involved with it. This was in 2010. I got more involved with the Carver alumni. The next thing I knew, I was president of the alumni. And I'm very proud of the alumni for what they've done. For probably the 10 years that I've been associated with them, we've given at least $15,000 a year in scholarships. Very proud of that, and the 4 counties that students that we've helped. I tell people, when I was inducted at the Battle of Great Bridge, which was the greatest battle of the Culpeper Minutemen, and I still believe one of the greatest battles of the Revolutionary War. But Billy Floor, I heard about Billy Floor, a free African American who was there and was a hero of that battle. I then went on a mission looking at the Revolutionary War and African American patriots. And I found the DAR, the Daughters of the American Revolution, did a lot of research and had 5,000 names of free African Americans, not all free, African Americans and American Indians who had fought for the United States in the Revolutionary War. It put me on a mission, and then finally I started realizing that there was other information out there. There was information on people from Culpeper, African Americans and American Indians that were from Culpeper that had pension files. I even found some that my ancestors had verified their affidavits so that they could get pensions. And really, to this day, I honestly believe that I went to school here with some other students. I'm here representing my European ancestors that fought in the Revolutionary War, but I honestly believe that I attended school with some students that had no idea about their ancestors serving in the Revolutionary War by names of students that I knew here, like Rawls and Bundys and all like that. And I could tell that they were of mixed race too. I mean, it's a lot of that you don't really realize. And even when I go back and look at the Revolutionary War, all of the free African Americans that were there then. It's a lot to be researched and a lot to be told, and I'm very proud that I was able to do what little bit that I know or have researched and found. I'm very proud of our history. I'm very proud of the things that I found, and there's much more out there to be found. Well, this is something that I always wanted to do. My work ethic and my job didn't allow me to do as much as I wanted to, and I guess maybe I'm crazy too, I don't know, but I enjoy doing what I'm doing, and I enjoy the people that I'm associated with doing this work, and I feel good about the story that's being told. I'm still overwhelmed, really. I really am. I'm working to do what good I can do in the community, not to be recognized, really. But I feel if someone listens to me and listens to some of the truth and facts that I'm speaking, that's all I need. That's all I need, and just to recognize some of these things that we're trying to recognize, and just like this school here. And when I think back, I'm really, really proud of the education I got here, and the teachers. And teachers really, really pushed me, and I should have listened a little harder though. But I'm thankful, and I don't know what else to say. I'm still overwhelmed, and I just like to thank Aging Over 50 and Carol. But I don't know what else to say. I just, I don't look at the things that we do, I guess, but because it's things that we should be doing.
Congratulations, Charles Jameson. We are just thrilled to know you and appreciate all you've done.
Yes, congratulations. We had the opportunity to film out at the Carver Center, which you could see there. And wow, it was so rich in history. And Charles just had so many wonderful stories to tell. We could have stayed there all day. I mean, it was just so informative. I learned so much that day that I was out there about the history. And I think it's so important that folks are maintaining working hard to maintain that history and not to lose sight of that history. So, we do know that there are some folks from the George Washington Carver Regional High School Alumni Association. Wow, that's a mouthful, right? But they are joining at the watch party tonight over at Generation Central, over in Culpeper at Generation Central. So we are grateful to Generation Central. We want to say hello to all of you out there. We're so glad that you're with us tonight and celebrating. Congratulations again to Charles, and thanks, Carol. And we're just so grateful. Enjoy the party.
Ellen, I'm just struck by the rich history that the George Washington Carver School has for our whole region. And I love how Charles Jameson, doesn't just accept this for himself, but all the people connected with that place and just where it's located between Culpeper and Orange, and Madison's right there. I just think that represents such rich history. And to have that museum there means so much.
If you haven't been out there, folks, you need to go visit that museum. That
it's worth the
really,
trip.
Definitely. Yes. Well, we're moving on to Fauquier now. So we're going to hear from Renee Ewens, and here to introduce Renee is Ken Lukonis. I hope I didn't butcher your name, Ken.
Hello, everybody. My name is Ken Lukonis. I'm the president and CEO of Strategic Alliance Consulting. I met Rini 6.5 years ago. I remember that day vividly. Like most small businesses, I started my company in the basement of my home. It worked for those first 2.5 years, but I had to hire my first overhead employee to work with me, and I knew having a person working out of my basement was not going to work for my family. The weekend before my employees started, I had read about the Fakir Mason Enterprise Center, also known as the MEC, in a local newspaper. As my employees started that Monday morning, we got in the car and drove to the MEC. That day, October 9th, 2015, would change my life and my company for the better. I remember walking to the MEC that first day and being greeted by Rini. With a big smile, she said, "May I help you?" I told her about the start of my business and not wanting a young female working in my house with my family, and her response was, "Well, I believe we can help you." She introduced us to co-working and the offices she had available, but then guided us by saying, "I've been there, and co-working is probably the best start for you all." She welcomed us in many ways, the MEC, of how they could help us, and never gave us the hard sell. She led us to water, but never tried to make us drink. That is Rini Eunice. I kid around by saying she knows people and makes everyone feel like they made the decision. Even though she guided them there, she makes them feel like it's been their idea. Rini has helped my business by helping us with space, getting us access to more training, giving us introductions to others that could help us, and in turn, that we can help. She is a motivator, a cheerleader at times, a mentor, and a person that I would call a leader and a dear friend. Rini is a native Washingtonian, born of Greek immigrants. She's been married to Glenn Eunice for over 30 years. She has 3 adult children, 5 grandchildren, with 1 more grandchild on the way. Rini loves to golf and knit. She is always open to anyone joining her knitting group, and if you ask her, she'll probably bring you some of those Greek pastries. Her career has revolved around helping others. Her husband, Glenn, and Rini owned a professional recruiting firm in Tyson's Corner. In 2007, she was awarded the Business Person of the Year by Vienna Tyson's Chamber of Commerce. It's just not running a successful business for Rini, but it's about helping others. Rini developed Interview Smarts. It was a seminar to help managers hire the right people. She also helped with the writing of resumes, interview techniques, and the important aspect of interview follow-up. When Rini came to lead the Fakir MEC in February 2014, after serving 5 years at Prince William County MEC, her leadership, passion, and overall caring attitude was just what the businesses of Fakir County needed. She understands new and old businesses need help. She understands that help may mean counseling, space, internet, mail service, or just have someone to vet an idea with. Rini was recognized by the 2020 Fakir Chamber of Commerce as the Fakir Business Hero for amazing contributions to the community and helping businesses thrive during the pandemic. Rini is the type of person that gives everybody the time they need to get the help they need. Her passion for helping people and the community is what makes her great. I cannot think of a better person that deserves the 5 over 50 award.
As Ken said, I'm a native Washingtonian, grew up in D.C. My parents were Greek immigrants, so I grew up in a very traditional Greek home. Lots of cooking, lots of Greek food, and lots of Greek music and that type of thing. Grew up in the Greek Orthodox faith, which I still is very strong in my life. I have 3 adult children, as Ken mentioned, and my one son lives in Alexandria. We have a daughter that lives in Marietta, Georgia, outside of Atlanta. We were just there for a week. And we have another son and family that live in Ellicott City. I have 5 grandchildren. So we were in Atlanta, so we were with the 2 girls for about a week. Got to see them play soccer, got to see them dance in the ballet, and it's wonderful. Shortly after school, I worked for a labor union, and I worked for the president, and it was an elected position. He was in office for about 4 years, and a new person got elected. That wasn't really, I didn't think we were going to connect real well, so I decided it was time to make a change. I didn't know where to go to look for a job, so I went to a recruiting firm in D.C., And I got interviewed, and they talked to me, and then they said to me, well, the owner would like to talk to you. And I said, okay. And she said, well, we'd like to hire you to come and work here. And I worked there for several years, and they were closing. They had some rough times, so they were closing. I had a colleague that told me about a company called Access Enterprises in Tyson's Corner, and that's where I went to work for a very long time. My husband and I co-owned that company for about 25 years. During that employment, in addition to recruiting and helping people find jobs, I did create a division called Interviewing Smarts, and I helped candidates with preparation for resumes, and I did a lot of interviewing guidance and a lot of role-playing with people and how to follow up after interviews. I found during that time that there were employers who could perhaps improve their interviewing techniques. So I created programs on how to hire people and what to look for and that kind of thing. And then in 2008, we were affected by the terrible recession, and our business was closed, and I had to work. So I decided to start calling. It was really tough, but I forced myself to call 5 people every day that I knew to see if they had heard of anything or if they knew of any jobs. One of the members of the board, I was president of the chamber in Vienna Tyson's chamber, and one of my board members I called. I just assumed he lived in McLean or in Falls Church or whatever, and I called him, and he said, well, actually, he said, I have an office in Manassas. So I followed through. It takes a long time to be hired from a university, but it's a long story. I was hired for the admin position, and it was very challenging. The director was a little different than anyone that I had worked with. After about a year, she called me in, and I thought, oh, this is not good. We're not connecting. And she said, I'm retiring. And I was like, oh, hallelujah, she's retiring. So I reached out to the director of the MEC, and I asked if they were going to post a position, and I'd like to be considered. Could I submit my resume? And cut to the chase, I was hired to be the director there at Manassas. There was talk about having a position here in Warrenton. So I thought, there's a MEC coming to Warrenton? Oh my gosh, that could be heaven. So I was really, really, I just think I was very lucky to be selected to be the director here.
What sort of other things occupy your time when you're not at work?
Well, I'll tell you, when I met Glenn, he was a golfer, and I thought, I think I should learn how to play golf. It would be something we could grow old together. How hard could it be to hit a little white ball, right? So I decided to learn to play golf, and I took lessons. At least I did that. And I met 2 other women, and we kind of created a friendship, and I struggled with the game. I still struggle with the game. I feel like, I learned late in life. That's my excuse for I've never been athletic, so. But I do love it, and I kind of feel like I improve a little bit every season. I knit a lot. I love to knit. I love to read. I do have a knitting group that comes to my home once a month, and we call it Wine and Twine, and my husband tells people we drink more wine than we knit, but that's not necessarily true. But those are the things that keep me happy and busy.
What sort of advice would you like to give to maybe the younger audience, or for those who are maybe looking to find their way?
I think the greatest thing I would suggest would be helping people. And I mean that, based on whatever career you might be in, there's a way to help people. We're all different, but in order to build, a good career or whatever we're building, we have to get along with everyone. I don't think I ever did as much as to allow me to be a nominee here. I was just appalled, shocked, grateful, so appreciative. I can't begin to tell you. And for that reason, I hope that I can become a little bit more involved in the organization, because it's just touched my heart.
Well, congratulations, Rini. Really, what a super job. What a great woman, Rini. And We so enjoyed visiting you out there at the Mason Center. It was a fantastic building. And back up a minute, I want to just say too that, your advice to young people, this is kind of my favorite part, is when, we're hearing back from the honorees about, advice that they would pass on to younger people, because there is a lot of wisdom there, and it's really helpful if younger folks want to really take the time and think about that and absorb that. Really, very, very wonderful to hear some of those words of wisdom. Hello, everybody out there at the Mason Center. I hope you're enjoying some wonderful food. I know you are. And I hope you're having a great celebration with Rini.
I did have a question though. Does the Fakir Watch Party have some Greek pastries? Because Ellen, you mentioned that there might have been some Greek pastries involved in this conversation.
Seriously, like if they do, I want to know who's bringing them back to me. I'm looking forward to those Greek pastries. Thank you, Rini.
We just hope all the watch parties are really enjoying your refreshments and kind of just being together. Each nominee is just so special and so well loved by their community. So this next nominee is just really near and dear to my heart, because being just a part of the Madison County community as the director of the Department of Social Services, this next nominee is pretty special, because the Madison nominee is Kevin McGee, who is just a really well-respected and really important guy who would prefer to be behind the scenes, perhaps. And thankfully, Pastor Dan Albrandt is going to introduce Kevin and kind of let him come out of that background for a little bit and let him know how much his community appreciates him.
Hi, I'm Pastor Dan here in Madison County, and I have had the pleasure to get to know Kevin over the last 5 years. It was actually a thought that I had about when we started to talk about at Aging Together who might be a good candidate for this year's award. Kevin came to mind immediately. There's a lot of good people in Madison County, but I've gotten to know Kevin well over the last few years and just observe him as he has been a leader in the county, first on the Planning Commission and then 8 years on the Board of Supervisors, both positions which require a lot of political savvy, a lot of humility, a lot of ability to work for compromise. And those are the things that I admire about Kevin the most. The other thing I admire about Kevin is his motor never stops. He is constantly running, literally in the mornings, and then throughout the day, doing things around the county to make it better. There is not much of the county that Kevin hasn't touched over the years that he's been here, and he's been here his whole life. And so from working at Hoover Ridge to doing the work with the Planning Commission and the Board of Supervisors to make life better for Madisonians, Kevin has touched each and every bit of it. He has used his talents as an engineer and as somebody who's really creative to build new things, to create new infrastructure, to bring to the people of Madison County a way to enhance their lives. And so I've just been pleased and proud since we heard that Kevin received the award this year, because I think he really is a person that not only has done a lot already in his young life, but will continue to do things because he is so deeply embedded in Madison County. So I just say congratulations, Kevin, for all that you've done and all that you will continue to do. And thank you so much for the way that you have made Madison County a better place to live.
When I found out I was being recognized, I thought to myself, I I can't have been that old, and I can't have done all the things that I'm used to seeing folks who were recognized for that to have done. Yeah, there's been a lot of things I've been involved with over the years. It was nice to hear them that other people had noticed, but I really feel I've been following the Aging Together and the 5 over 50 recognition they do every year, and I admire those folks that have been recognized in the past, and they struck me as giving people. And I could see, or it seemed to me that need to give drove them. Pastor Dan in the introduction has pegged me in a lot of ways, but one of them is my need to do. He gave a sermon a few years ago. Maybe he can tell me what it was. He said, it's we have to work on being better human beings, and a lot of us struggle with being beings. I mean, I'm a human doing. I'm too often a human doing, and I need to learn how to be a human being. But that human doing is driving me, I think, a lot of times, and I'm hoping people will think that's my unselfishness. What I'm most proud of is honestly in my family, because I don't know that I can take a lot of credit for that either, but they're pretty amazing folks, and it goes back to my parents. Neither of them had any reason to succeed, but they did anyway. I mean, my mother's mother died when she was 7, and by the time Mom was 12, she was cooking and cleaning for the family. My father was born on the wrong side of the tracks in Culpeper, so he's kind of native too, and he had every excuse not to succeed either. And he not only was the first person in his family to finish high school, but he went to college and got a master's degree, and he just completely, with Mom working together, changed the trajectory of our whole family. And so I'm pretty proud of them. And then a young lady that he hired years ago decided she liked me, and she has made all the difference in my life since. And you might have figured out we got married, and we have 2 kids, and they're both in engineering school right now, and I think they're standing every chance of being successful. But that started a long time ago with some hard work from people before me. More locally, I think I like to think that I have contributed to the county. I owe them a lot. I was born and raised here, and I was able to be involved with local planning on the Planning Commission. I did a study that people give me credit for, or helped lead a study on the Route 29 corridor. That some folks have said, if you talk to the chairman of the Board of Supervisors now, he'll tell you that it's one of the more proactive things that we've ever done within the county. I ran for the Board of Supervisors ultimately because I wanted this place to be a place that our children could come back to and make a living and be proud of. I've been proud of what I've been able to contribute. More of it's been about bringing my wife back here and letting her do what she's capable of doing. I mean, I'm a big fan of hers, or she's a big fan of mine. She's a very bright woman, and she contributes mightily, and she inspires me and a lot of other folks. She should be recognized for something. I was listening to NPR the other week, and somebody was interviewing Patrick Stewart, the guy who was Picard, very well-spoken gentleman, on up there a little bit in age, and they were asking him what he would tell his younger self. He said if he were to give advice to his younger self, he would tell himself to take it a little easy on yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't beat yourself up over things that maybe you didn't do perfectly. And I've got lots of examples of that in my past. that I probably should have been easier on, in hindsight, should be easier on myself. That's one of the ones that I think occurred to me when he said that I have learned, and I think I would have benefited from not quite, a lot of us are our biggest critics, and we could all maybe stand to take it a little easier on ourselves sometimes. But nonetheless, I appreciate it, and I hope it'll inspire me now to do the things that people think maybe they see the opportunity, the potential, and I got to realize it now. So to me, it's motivating. I'm really, humbled and proud to be recognized, but I don't really feel that worthy.
Congratulations, Kevin. It was such an honor to meet you and film with you, and I hope you're all having a great time at the watch party tonight. Congratulations.
Absolutely. I wish I could be there with you at the Madison County Watch Party. But
no.
I'm with you in spirit. I just want to convey that the entire Madison County community so appreciates your contributions through your work on the Planning Commission, through your hours and hours of time on that Board of Supervisors. And most of all, I appreciate what Kevin said about his family. And just that making family a priority and always, recognizing others. I so just respect, and I think all those around you have learned from your dedication to your family and your community. Thank you for that. We now will hear from our presenting sponsor, Donna Staten with the UVA Health Culpeper Hospital.
Hi, I am Donna Staten, president of UVA Culpeper Medical Center. I want to thank Aging Together for creating this opportunity to come together and celebrate this evening's honorees and their many contributions to our region's communities. UVA Culpeper Medical Center is honored to support and sponsor the 5 over 50 event because collaborations like this help to realize our vision of health equity by giving back to the communities we serve. We value our older generations and the foundation and pathways they create for positive impact on our communities, and would like to extend our commitment to assure our seniors have the services and the support they need as they age. Congratulations to this year's 5 over 50 honorees. On behalf of the entire UVA Culpeper Medical Center, thank you for all that you do in service of your neighbors and making our communities better.
Well, next up from Orange County is Bill Hager, and here to introduce Bill Hager is Sean Gregg.
Good evening. My name is Sean Gregg, and it's my pleasure to introduce Bill Hager of Orange, Virginia, as Orange County's designated recipient of this year's 5 over 50 award. I've known Bill, I guess, by reputation since I was about 8, maybe 9 years old. He ran a business on Main Street here in the town of Orange. My parents also had a business. Bill ran a clothing store known as Crafton and Sparks. It later became Red Hager Clothing, which, if you knew Bill when he was a younger man, he had red hair. Today it would be hard to understand why they may have called it Red Hager Clothing. In any event, one of the first ways I knew Bill was really, again, by reputation. He had the entrant or a sponsor in the local soapbox derby competition. I think one of the reasons Bill did this, and I've never had this conversation with him, was Maury Rennick was a young man in Orange, and he needed a help up, like most kids do. Bill took the time, he took his own funds, and he sponsored this car. It gave Maury the best looking and, as it turned out, the best car that was entered that year. So far as my older brother's car, the wheels fell off as soon as we got it home. I like to tell people that Bill Hager has been more successful at the Masters Golf Tournament for more years than any golfer in the history of the sport. The reason for that is because Bill has been responsible for a lot of the bleachers and a lot of the production work that is done at the Masters. Some of his grandchildren were involved with the band department at Orange County High School. He determined that they needed new uniforms. Bill raised money for those new uniforms, and this past year they won a statewide competition. I can't help but believe that one of the reasons kids from Orange are doing well is because they respond when they think that people are paying attention to them and appreciating them. Bill spearheaded that effort. No sooner was that done than Bill was approached by some other people in the town of Orange and in Orange County to raise money for the renovation and, in fact, the creation of a fitness center at Orange County High School. It is now known as the Paul Sizemore Fitness Center. It occupies the old gym space at Orange County High School, and it is a resource for the faculty and the students at Orange County High School. After that, Bill became involved, and by became involved, he created something called the Orange County High School Alumni and Friends Foundation. In those efforts over the past 2.5 years, Bill has raised almost $300,000. All of the money is being paid out to these kids. Finally, Bill has been involved in lots of efforts with Orange Baptist Church. A lot of people describe Bill, if you need one word, they'll say he's a cheerleader. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. Bill wants to see the best in people. Bill looks for the best in people. He doesn't get discouraged by problems in terms of impediments to succeeding. He just sees them as opportunities to overcome. And finally, and for more selfish reasons, one of the reasons I'm happy to speak on Bill's behalf, he has master's tickets. And if at all possible, I'm hoping that if I say enough nice things about Bill, he will let me go to the Masters golf tournament with him. Anyway, Bill, congratulations. I cannot think of anybody in Orange County more deserving of this award. Thank you.
But he overdid it. There was a lot of things that he said that maybe I started something, whereas I didn't, but I got involved in it. But especially the food, the garden that the church does. I was asked to get involved from an infrastructure part, so that's mostly what I've done is gotten. I'm pretty good at making things happen, as far as organizing and getting it done. It's just I've been blessed, and I had a fellow one time help me, and he said, "I'm going to help you, but you got to make me a promise that you'll help others as you age." And I think that never left me. I remember sitting in his store asking and talking about what I was doing, and that's never left me. I'll help you, but you give back. And I think that's the inspiration. Also, the spiritual side of me motivates giving back and helping others. That's what we're supposed to do as Christians, and that's a key motivating factor as well. I have a saying that I learned later in life that the important things of life are your faith, your family, your friends, and we've added a couple of things to that: faith, family, friends, financial, and fitness. My youngest granddaughter said, "There's another one." She said, "You've forgotten fun." So now we've added fun to that list. I moved away for 18 years, and I learned to appreciate it a lot more than when I was here before. The people are special. It's just community. You get involved in community, and you just feel a part of something that's really good. Plus, Orange County is a beautiful place to live. Where we live in this part of the world is a blessing. The creation is, you just look out at the mountains sometimes and the green fields. And there have been a lot of people who have gone through the town of Orange, leaders that have, I can think of, that were public service. Public servants. They were just people who gave back. And we have people doing that today. We have a board of supervisors in Orange County today that is just awesome. What they do, the number of hours they put in a month's time for the pittance of pay they get inspiring. They're giving back, and they get fussed at for giving back sometimes with issues. But you have to be special to want to serve the public, and it's a special calling. And I'm inspired by those going on to want to get a certification in a certain field. And our foundation is based on CTE, Career Technical Education kids mostly. And those are certifications, they're not degrees, specializing. I call it skills school. And it covers everything in CTE at Orange County High School, from cybersecurity to nursing, welding. There's so many aspects today of career education. And to just help kids and have them react to you, and it's just a great feeling. And that's the satisfaction of it all. The reward to me is to just get a hug from a student that we've helped. One of my things in life, and my wife gets really irritated with me at times, and I don't give her enough credit, by the way. Behind every man who's successful, there's a good woman in his life someplace. And I've been blessed for 60 years of marriage, almost 60, to Joan Carol Berry Hager. The thing that I'm going to work on now that I'm almost retired is I need to work more on my spiritual life, and I'm going to do that. That is something I need to do. It's easy to say I'm a Christian. It's easy to say I'm involved in my church, but are you really involved on a day-to-day, hour-to-hour, minute-to-minute basis? And try to live my life by the Ten Commandments and the Beatitudes. And giving back's a part of that. I didn't really need any recognition personally. It's nice that there is an organization that recognizes people as they get into their senior years, and their involvement in the community and giving back, as I call it. So I'm happy to receive it. I'm sure there's other people that are more deserving than I am, but with Sean's urging, I did accept, and he must have really overdone the application in his writing.
Congratulations, Bill. I'm truly inspired, most especially by your F's. And I'm excited to see what you do next as you focus on that faith journey.
You know, recently we were over at, some of the staff was over at the Orange radio station, and we were interviewed by J.D. Slade over there. And, you know, we were talking about something completely different, and J.D. says, okay, now we're going to be talking about 5 over 50. And J.D. proceeded to tell this story of how Bill Hager, who he knew as Red, you know, Red, how when J.D. was a teenager, and he was walking down the street and came across Bill, Red, and he stopped him, and he had a few words of advice for him about choices to make in life and how he could have control over the choices he made. And it made such an impact on JD that here he is all these years later, you know, never forgot it and never forgot the impact and the influence that that exchange had. So it was very powerful.
That's
very
wonderful.
powerful. It was a really cool story, for sure.
It sounds like Bill, who I now know as Red, just has so much energy. That's one of the traits as I look at what ties our honorees this year together. It's the amount of energy and the amount of just impact on whatever their sphere of influence is. They really are, even by just a casual exchange, they're impacting people's lives. That's just really amazing. And it sounds like, can I call you Red now? I feel like I know you. It just sounds like Red is the ultimate multi-generational guy. You know, his work with children, students, young people starting their career, you know, getting around on Facebook, I hear, is a skill he has as well. And just still being connected to what his next project is going to be. Like truly, truly inspiring.
Yes, he's very inspiring, and he does credit, and I know he mentioned it, and he really mentioned to us a few times too, about how important his faith is to him and how that really drives him. And I think you can really see that too. And of course, the watch party for Bill is at his church, the Orange Baptist Church in downtown Orange, there on Main Street. And another beautiful, beautiful building, beautiful church, historic landmark. So very special place to have a watch party. And we just hope you're having a good time and enjoying the food and the refreshments. And congratulations again. Well, last but not least, okay. I can't believe this is going by so fast. I can't believe it. Next up is our honoree, which is actually honorees from Rappahannock County. 2 for 1. In Rappahannock County, we have a couple, Joyce and Mike Wenger. And here to introduce Joyce and Mike Wenger is the founder of Aging Together, Sally Morgan, extraordinaire.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Sally Morgan, and it is my pleasure to introduce the 2022 5/50 honorees for Rappahannock County, Joyce and Mike Wenger. Now, I want to tell you, this is one good-looking, energetic, smart, and community-minded couple who have each in their own way, both individually and as a team, enriched the lives of so many people in this county. They are both visionaries and they're both doers. They both hold key leadership roles in the community, but you'll also see them on the front lines performing individual acts of kindness and service. Now, Joyce and Mike moved to Rappahannock in 2015, and they jumped in with all 4 of their feet to make this a better place to live. I have the privilege of serving with Joyce on the Rap at Home board, which she chairs. And so I've gotten a chance to see her up close and personal, as they say, as she works. And I can tell you that she has been an extremely effective leadership for this active Neighbors Helping Neighbors senior village that has really transformed supports for older adults in Rappahannock. As a volunteer, she puts in more time than you would expect of a full-time paid employee. I mean, she really lives and breathes the organization's mission. And she has helped us to expand the number of people who are involved, grow our grant resources and our donations. She's helped expand and improve our services and introduce a number of new initiatives. And she's increased collaboration with other groups. But Rap at Home is just the tip of the iceberg. Joyce also serves on the region's Aging Advisory Council, plays a key leadership role with the Child Care and Learning Center, where she serves as their board vice chair. She, like Mike, is a master naturalist and also a leader with the Virginia Native Plant Society. She helps the Rappahannock Association for Arts and Community plan their annual fall art tour, is an avid gardener and a member of the garden club. But one thing you need to know about Joyce, and it won't take you long after you meet her to know this, is she loves ballet. She is an avid student with the Mountainside Dance Center, and I admire her greatly for that. So on the other side of this dynamic duo is Mike Wenger, a former Air Force pilot who has lived all over the world and worked as a business executive, an educator, an organizational change expert, and a cultural anthropologist. Mike is also a key player in Rapid Home, where he is our transportation guru. He not only works with the Regional Transportation Collaborative to coordinate all of the local mobility services, but he also teaches others to drive the wheelchair-equipped vans, and he himself personally has logged over 3,000 miles giving Rappahannock residents rides to critical appointments. Mike is also a very important person at the Lord Fairfax Community College, where he serves as the board chair and has helped lead that organization through a name change. They're soon to be called Laurel Ridge Community College. He's helped them visualize and prioritize their future and help work toward equity for all students. Mike organizes hearing screening for the Rappahannock Lions Club, and as an old rag master naturalist, coordinates their stream monitoring program, and he also volunteers at the local park to help them with their invasive plant control. And while Joyce is practicing her pliés and her relevés and her grand jetés in her ballet studio, Mike is playing the ukulele and sharing his musical interests with others as founder of the Blue Ridge Ukulele Circle. Now, one could say much more about the community building work that Joyce and Mike have done, but I'd like to say that to me the most important thing is that these are very kind individuals who will be the first person on your doorstep if you've just come home from the hospital and need a meal or other help. I feel very privileged and honored to be both a coworker and a friend, and it is my great pleasure to introduce Joyce and Mike.
We were well aware of this area just because of our work with master naturalists and the Virginia Native Plant Society, and Rappahannock, of course, is renowned for the open spaces, for the large areas of natural undeveloped land. And when both of us were retired, we wanted to move someplace that kind of feeds the soul, and certainly Rappahannock feeds the soul, among other things.
Not only is it a beautiful place, and lots of places are beautiful, but Rappahannock is known for that. But what we didn't realize, we thought we were going to come here, we were going to read novels all day long, we were going to walk our dog, we were going to be isolated. We had no idea how many things there are in Rappahannock to do and how many wonderful people are here that are involved in all these organizations and activities. And we've made so many friends here, many more friends than we've made other places. And so we're just extremely happy with life here.
Rappahannock County has a really engaged community. We didn't know that it was going to have such an engaged community when we moved here. We just thought it was a pretty place. But everybody's engaged in stuff. They're more than willing, they're eager to invite you in whenever the opportunity happens. And all you have to do is say yes. And so if you make eye contact when you first move here with somebody, they'll ask you to participate in something. And if you say yes, then you end up engaged in whatever that might be. For both of us, we made too much eye contact early on.
When you're talking about the work that you guys do, talk to me a little bit about Rapid Home.
Rapid Home is a senior village. We don't all live in the same village, but we work together as friends, helping friends. The goal is to help all of us live as long as we can in our own homes, as long as we want to help us help each other with services that we may not be able to do as well as we age, to also provide things like social activities and just other things to connect us, make us engaged, make us healthier, happier, live good lives as long as we can here in Rappahannock. And that's the basic fundamental goal. With all of that, then there's lots of stuff going on, lots of activities, lots of services, and we have lots of people working within the organization to try to figure out how to do all of those things better and more and that sort of thing. So it's an important part of Rappahannock.
For me personally, the most direct, immediate, and obvious contribution that I personally make is driving the wheelchair van. Hal Hunter, soon after we moved here, said, you should drive people, it's a big need. And I said yes, and after a year I realized that we really needed somebody to drive a wheelchair van that we had available. In Rappahannock County there is no alternative really. If you're in a wheelchair and you need to go to a medical appointment and you don't have a wheelchair van, and very few people can afford a wheelchair van, there's no alternative. And so for me, when I take somebody to a medical appointment in the wheelchair van, they know, I know, we all know that that's a very important contribution and it makes a very big difference in their life.
But this whole community, there's just so many people that have had such interesting experiences that they're willing to share and want to take time to sit and socialize and have dinner and lunch together and then do things together that have an impact in the community as well. And so I think of the big picture of the things that I'm doing, a lot of the things that Sally named, and those are all great, building the organization, that kind of thing, but I feel most happy when I'm helping someone or just interacting with someone one-on-one. When I look at the names, and I wrote them down, of some of the people from Rappahannock who've had this before, Hal, Linda, Lillian, Bev, Doug, Barney, Sally, and Mimi, I hope I can live up to what I know all of them have done in the past. So yeah, I'm just amazed to be on that list with them.
Yeah, and I'll also observe that everybody on that list, except the late Linda Deedle, is still making all these contributions. And so I hope that we're both around a decade from now and I'm still able to drive. It's an amazing list of citizens, and I'm honored to be among them as well.
Congratulations, Mike and Joyce. Well done. What a joy it was to come and see your home. What a beautiful spot. I didn't get lost going up there. I did get lost leaving because my GPS didn't work up there. It's just absolutely gorgeous, and you know the gardens, they have spectacular. It's a garden paradise. It's just a garden paradise out there, and you know, lots of bear stories and dog stories, and you know, Joyce and Mike are such interesting people, and again, we could have just sat there all day chatting. Really, really beautiful, beautiful spot up there in the mountains in Rappahannock, and all that natural beauty just surrounding them.
So was that their dog in the slideshow?
Yes, that was Taylor, their dog, and oh, Taylor was very sweet. We enjoyed meeting Taylor.
Good
as
hospitality
well.
with Taylor as well.
Absolutely. And we know that you all are celebrating with the watch party at Rapid Home. So thanks, Rapid Home, for hosting the watch party. We really appreciate that. I know you guys did a great job, and you got it covered. And I think you've got quite a few people there. So again, many congratulations.
I just want to take the opportunity to just congratulate all of our honorees again, because it is truly inspirational to see the contributions of these 5 folks who are over 50. And I think whether you're younger than 50 or over 50, you know, we truly, truly have folks making a difference. And as we age together, it's really neat to think of the impact that each and every one of these individuals has had on the people, the people around them.
So true. Such a great group of people, and we're really very fortunate to be able to have the opportunity to recognize them. And thank you to everyone who nominated. And I do want to say, if you're out there and you're watching and you nominated somebody and they were not selected this year, don't give up. You can nominate again next year. And please be thinking of who is in your community and who's doing wonderful things in your community, and who are you going to nominate for next year. We want to make sure you don't forget that. There's an opportunity too, if anyone is so inclined, to make a donation in honor of one of the honorees, and you can do that by going to the Aging Together website at agingtogether.org and making a contribution in honor of one of the 5, or I should say 6, recipients tonight. We really do appreciate all the support. It takes a village. We did have a few glitches this evening, and we're just so grateful for all of the volunteers that stepped up to the plate and pulled it off. So we hope you're having a grand time out there. Thank you is all I can say. I am going to turn it back over to Valerie for some final words, but thank you so much.
Absolutely. We hope you've enjoyed your evening, and that our honorees really realize how much they're appreciated by us all. Please stay with us for just the final part of our program, the awards presentation.